Welcome back to my channel. So I am going to be working with Thomas and Friends in this video because this is the Thomas and Friends SUPERSTATION, and Bill, as you can probably tell, is very excited because you are helping me review this, aren't you? And we're very giddy because it's absolutely huge, and Fisher Price have kindly also sent us lots of other Thomas and Friends characters to play with as well. So we've got loads of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to open it all up, aren't we? We're going to unbox it all and we're going to build it, and we're going to have a good play and let you know what we think. So as you can see from the back of the box, this is what we're going to be building, and it looks absolutely amazing. It is, it's massive. This box is bigger than you pretty much, isn't it? So let's get some scissors and see how long this takes us. Are you going to help me? Come on now. So we've unpackaged everything and there are loads of pieces, but the instructions look pretty simple, so we're going to give this a go, aren't we? Which sticker? That one, the big one?
Yep.
So there's a few stickers, but they're not too tricky, are they, Bill? Do you think I can do it nice and straight?
Yeah. Mama.
I did it!
Mama did it! Now put the helicopter on now.
So the nice thing about building this is that all the pieces are marked with their names. So this is S1 for example, and this is DC, and these are the pieces that we need next. So it's really easy to build. So if you do want to play around and change the formation of it, it's not too tricky to do, which I really like.
Can't wait to see it go.
So here it is so far. So all we need to do now is build the rest of the track. So as you can see behind us, it is all built and it's huge, but it's so good, isn't it? And we've not had to play it yet, we're itching to, but just thought I would talk you through what you get with it and everything like that. Now, along with the Thomas and Friends SUPERSTATION, you also get these little guys. So you get Thomas, you get Percy, you get James, and you also get Harold as well. So you can use these on the track, but you are very lucky, aren't you? And you've been sent a lot more other little trains to play with as well. So we're going to unbox those and put them all out throughout the track and enjoy ourselves. It's been a few days now and we have been playing with the Thomas and Friends SUPERSTATION, and I wanted to come on and finish this video with like a full review of like our pros and cons and things that we really enjoyed and that kind of thing. And I've actually left Bill playing with it because why ruin a good thing, eh? Why ruin a good thing? Now, I'm going to go into my pros at first. The first thing I absolutely love is the fact that it's not a, you know when you buy a toy and it does one thing. It's not like that. There are so many different things that you can tweak and change to it, which I really like, because I feel like it gives the toy longevity, if that makes sense. Because kids get bored very quickly. It doesn't matter, you know, what you buy them and what you give them to play with, they will get bored eventually. But the nice thing about this is that you can use it as per the instructions and do a track that, you know, has been suggested to you. But if Bill wants to make something completely different and turn it into a different shape, or, you know, add some other toys to it, like he's been taking animals and toy mini dinosaurs around the track on the trains, and he absolutely loves doing that. And I feel like it really opens up a world of like imaginative play, which is big for us. I also really like the fact that there's like little extras that you can do with it in terms of like the crane. Bill's been wheeling that up and like loading trains onto the little crane and taking them down again, and I've heard him doing like little voices like, oh no, don't worry, I'm gonna help you, I'll rescue you. And I love that. I love listening to him play. I also like the fact that if you do have a wider area of space to play with, then you can put on the ramps, like the sort of like train track slides. Like we've had it a lot because you can, you know, launch the trains down there. They go really fast and it's quite exciting to watch, and they get all excited as well. And I have to add that it's actually really well built and really well made as well. It's very easy to put together, and you know, I've got instructions, I use the instructions, that's what we used when we were building it together, me and Bill, but it's actually quite intuitive to build as well. So if a piece does like fall off while you're transporting it, which, you know, these things can happen, it's quite easy to know where it goes or put it back together, and all of the pieces are marked, which is handy. And I really like that about it, because I've had like toys that need assembly in the past and they're really tricky to use, and you can't remember how to put them together unless you find the box and then you find the instructions and that sort of thing. Whereas this is very, you know what, you play with it the way that best suits you. I love the fact that there are loads of different trains that you can use on it, so types of Thomas and Friends trains, so you don't just need to use the ones that come in the set. We were sent some different types, so some that are wooden, some that are made of metal, some mini ones, and you can use all of them on the track, and there's no limitations in that sense, which I really like. So if you already have a child that does like Thomas and Friends and you've got a collection of trains anyway, then they are likely to work on this track, which is a big plus. And another thing that I thought was really key that Bill actually worked out is that there are little spots for you to hang some of the trains on. Like only certain trains will hang, but you can kind of store them on the Superstation, which I thought was a really clever idea, because it just means that they're all safe and in one place, and you know, you can keep it all together as one like train activity rather than like rummaging through toy boxes for like the trains and stuff. You can keep them all together, so I really like that. Now if I had to mention cons, which is a negative word, but just some things to consider, let's just say that one of the obvious things about the Thomas and Friends Superstation is that it is obviously very big. It is a big toy. It's not, you know, really compact. It's not one that you could just hide away in like a drawer or, you know, put in a toy box. It's quite big, and you know, if you are lacking on space, that's really something to consider, because it might be all right if you get it out one day in your child's bedroom, or if you're fortunate enough to have like a playroom or a play area in your house, then that is great. But when it comes to like, you know, going to bed at night or having space to do other things, then it does take up a lot of space. So you have to bear in mind, like, is this going to annoy me after a while as a parent? And I think that's something that I have to say, because some of us don't mind big toys and some of us do. I personally don't mind big toys because I'm very much of the opinion that they're only little for such a short amount of time, and we can have nice houses when they're teenagers and when they're grown up, and it's, you know, it's less messy, isn't it? So that's how I like to think of it. But it is something that you need to bear in mind. But what I have to say is that a lot of consideration has been given to the fact that not everyone's going to have the space to do massive tracks with it. So in the instructions there are tips on how to do a micro track. So if you do have less space and you want to get it up and running for everyday play, then you can make the micro track. But if you do want to have like a special play with it, then obviously you can move it elsewhere and then put the big ramps on if you want to. One thing we really enjoyed, as you will have seen in this video, is the fact that we took it outside, and Bill has loved playing with it outside in the sunshine, and it's given us a lot more space, and then the trains really go flying when they go down the ramp and things like that, and it's just been really good fun. And I think it would be great to play in like groups of children. Everyone can get around it and there's plenty to do, and it's not like just inclusive to one child then. So yeah, I do really appreciate that that has been thought about, but it's just something to bear in mind. Ultimately, if you have a train mad, Thomas the Tank Engine mad child, then I think that this is a perfect gift, you know, like as a birthday present, or like for Christmas. Obviously I don't want to say Christmas while I'm filming this in the summertime, but it will soon come around the corner, and this is definitely something that would make a real impression. Like, can you imagine like building it on Christmas Eve and laying it out under the Christmas tree, that kind of thing? And it's just a really good toy. I think Bill is so lucky to have been able to play with it and try it out, and he's really enjoyed himself. So before I end this video, I feel like I just need to say a big thank you again to Fisher Price and Thomas and Friends for letting us review this, because you have made a 6-year-old little boy's summer very exciting so far, and we do really appreciate it. But yeah, that is the end of this video. So if you'd like to find out any more details on the Thomas and Friends Superstation, then I will leave a link down below so you can find out more about, you know, what it includes, any specs, that kind of thing, where to buy it from. And if you've got any questions for me, leave them down below as well. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day whatever you are up to, and I will see you next time. Bye.